good, Max. You want to have a chat to us?
I am. I'm sitting in the Mayor's office in downtown New Plymouth, and Harley just went past, and I thought, we don't need that as a backdrop, do we, of a noise?
Well, it makes you sound like you're on the side of the road near the Tim Tams or something, you know. So.
There you go. Yeah, that's fine.
Hey, good on you. Thank you so much for joining us. I will put you on hold. Leah's just wrapped up her weather report, so she'll do her little intro for the hour and be with you in about a minute or so.
Cool, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Max. Yeah.
Bye.
A few moments later.
New Plymouth's concrete cycleway separators have been lovingly nicknamed Tim Tams, and not for their chocolatey goodness. They've sparked frustration over traffic delays and accidents, and while many drivers are fed up, some cyclists say they are finally feeling safe on the roads. The council says it's received complaints but also positive feedback about the changes. Installed to protect cyclists and stop cars from drifting into the lanes, the cycle lanes, there are now some 450 biscuit-like barriers lining nearly 4 k's of Devon Street West and South Road. But instead of just improving safety, locals say the narrow lanes have now led to traffic jams, accidents and plenty of frustration. One commuter described it as driving through a maze blindfolded. While others have reported scraped bumpers, near misses with pedestrians, and even the odd ambulance getting stuck. Costing $3.8 million, it was funded by NZTA and followed 2 rounds of consultation, although most submissions opposed it. Now, Mayor Neil Holdham has ordered a safety review. District Councillor Max Bruff said the fiasco has created chaos on the roads. Joins me now, Max. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Leah. How are you doing today?
Good, buddy. Nice to talk to you again. God, it all goes on in New Plymouth, I must say. 450, that is a lot of Tim Tams. For those that aren't familiar with the area, is this one of New Plymouth's busiest roads?
It's a state highway exit from town out around the coast, State Highway 45, out to one of our popular coastal foreshore areas, Okura Beach. A lot of farming community out there, a lot of heavy traffic use that route to get around. Yeah, it is a busy road.
Have you personally seen or experienced the traffic chaos caused by the divider?
I've been down and had a look at some of the peak times, and it's working as they intended. It's slowing traffic down. That was always the intention, and I understand that with the schools along there. I just question the way they've gone about it, and the size of these 450 Tim Tams is probably not really appropriate.
You mean like the height? They're quite high.
The height, yeah. So
they're like
they're just a little bit high and they're a little bit wide, and they encroach quite a bit into the carriageway. There's actually a cyclist who's undergoing a shoulder operation today because he had some pedal strike right today by coincidence. I'm not making that up. He's probably 3 to 6 months out of action from work. Young tradesman. Not a good result.
What happened? Is pedal struck one of the
barriers? Yeah, flung him out into the carriageway. Landed on the road, bit poorly on his shoulder, and damaged himself quite badly. Some tendons pulled apart apparently from the bone. I'm not sure the exact detail, but I have spoken to him. He's and the council are aware of this. It's a statistic.
Max, that's a question, right? So what's some of the biggest issues? You've mentioned they encroach, they're big. I mean, they force some. I've read that these barriers are forcing cars some into oncoming traffic. I mean, wasn't all these risks flagged during planning?
Apparently, it's been designed to best practice based on Auckland transport design. Does that tell you something?
Yes. Oh dear me. Okay, there's your problem right there. Because I was going to say, nearly $4 million on a project, and now the mayor has ordered a review.
Is he doing a review? I just want to back that up, all right, if I may. Okay. So part of any of these projects like this have to undergo a final audit to be finally signed off. And the audit that is being carried out is exactly that. It's an audit to finally sign this project off to say that it is designed and fit for purpose and safe for all users. I have some question marks around how robust it'll be, to be honest.
Oh, okay, right. Do you think that councillors like yourself had enough information when the decision was, in its infancy stages?
I think there's some of us were attuned to what was going on. We had 548 submissions apparently.
Yeah.
And there was a big percentage, 50 something against it and 30 something for it. What they're not saying with that is that one of those submissions was from a gentleman who organised a petition or a survey, and there was over 7,000 people responded against the Cycleway Tim Tam setup, and there were, I think, 42 that were for it, and that got counted as one submission. Now that's an inherent flaw in the process when something like that occurs, and what's happened since then is he's now running another survey, and at the moment there's over 5,000 people have completed that survey. The intention is to take it to Parliament to present it to the Minister and say, this is an example of why councils should not be able to skew process to suit the outcome they desire.
Wow. Oh, okay. That's interesting. What about, who's this group? Who's them?
He's a local businessman who's on the edge of the route, and he became the point of contact for everybody. He runs a graphics design company, and he became the spokesman for the group of disaffected businesses along that route.
Yeah, gosh. What though of this? I see. No surprise. I see cycling groups are saying they've never felt safer. I mean, and they also say this is typical of people that don't cycle. That we moan about.
And I understand that. Look, if you look along that route, you've got these things that are dotted along the route, all right, and there's a whole lot of places where they don't exist, coming up to intersections, over people's driveways, and I just would suggest that that's actually a little bit of pro-cycleway stuff, because there's a fair portion of that route that they don't exist, the Tim Tams don't exist on, and because they can't, because you've got to allow access to all of those side streets and those side access points. So I understand that. I think it's really just one side of the argument being used to counter the people that are against it. And I just remind everybody that this is a state highway. This is a state highway that is designed for efficient carriage of people and goods. And when you start clogging up state highways, and the government of the day now very firmly said that's what roads are for. So we all understand the need that we have to have a cycleway somewhere. We have to have alternate routes. They shouldn't be clogging up state highway and main arterial routes in and out of cities. They should be supplementary to that, not replacing that.
Yeah. I saw a picture actually in the story, Max, that showed a footpath, and it showed like 3 car park spaces and then those Tim Tam things. And then, of course, the main road. But I was looking at it going, how do you get into that middle car park space without driving over them?
That may have been an incompleted one. There's been a lot of car parks removed.
Must be.
And the other,
strange.
Yeah, this Auckland transport design, you've got to keep going back to that point. Remember that. It hasn't worked in Auckland too well, has it?
No. Oh, hell no. Okay, so what happens next, Max? A redesign, full removal, better communication? So
it's election time, right? It's election time. There was a few of us that lost that debate very badly. It's an opportunity for the voters of New Plymouth to say, are there a group of people that we can align with that want to fix this problem properly? Or are we happy to just let it slide into oblivion and put up with it for the rest of our life? So I would suggest that if the election results come out right, there will be a council that goes, let's fix this.
saying fix as in remove? Or
Absolutely. If
adjust?
so,
Take them out.
there's been a businessman who's come forward and he's offered to donate $10,000 to start the removal process. He's hypothesised that he should have a statue built out of these things called the Statue of Stupidity.
Because the thing is, as you know, Max, if that was voted that we get rid of them, yeah, he might drop 10k in it, but sadly, it's going to cost a lot of money, which is again on the ratepayer.
That's the problem, isn't it? That's actually the problem with doing these things against community wishes. Actually, the largest number of the community didn't want this, and it was rammed down their throats. So that's the problem with going about things. Instead of bringing the community along for things that they want, councils try and make the community decide that they're going to come on board with things that council wants or people at council want. So the process is all on its head. It's the wrong way around, and always the poor old ratepayer ends up picking up the tab for this thing. But to be honest, there are a number of people have come to me and said, look, we'll volunteer some time, machinery and effort to pull these things up and take them away and store them somewhere until they can be repurposed into a retaining wall or something else, an artificial surf reef or whatever someone comes up with an idea that we can turn them into something. The community will get behind the removal of this. The problem is the concrete and the paint will become a cost. So the concrete, where they've stuck it out in the middle of the intersections, that makes it hard to get around a corner now. You're having to go around a corner and come into the other lane as you're going around because they weren't very well designed.
Those things, yes.
That's actually worse than the Tim Tams.
What are you naming them, Max? What are they called?
Well, they're called traffic calming measures by the roading groups. They're called
traffic calming.
So they might be traffic calming measures, but they're driver road rage measures, I would counter.
So just so I get it clear, because I agree, I've driven over one before, I didn't see the bloody thing. I think that's what we're talking about. So you're driving up the road and you're about to enter onto another road, say turning left, and it sticks out, hey? It's like a concrete barrier.
Abutment,
Abutment, and you've got to kind of like go further round something that you just go around the corner.
So they're designed to slow the traffic down, and to that effect they work very well, but it causes congestion, and it causes you to have to quite often swing out wider than you normally would have to get around that corner. And the concept is great, slow the traffic down getting around town. So it's a great concept. It's the wrong way to go about it.
Like I said, I've driven over one before because I didn't in a higher car, like a taller SUV.
Are you one of those? You one of those mums dropping your kids at school in an SUV?
Well, firstly, I don't have kids to drop at school, so I just drive around in my SUV, me and my dog.
You're a dog mum. Good on you.
And it's a dirty old petrol burner as well. So there you go. Just I'm ticking all the boxes.
You are a planet killer. Yeah.
I'm a planet killer, Max. Proud of it. No. Hey, look. Well, it's an interesting one because the fact that you've got volunteers in the community that are not only going to drop money in it to remove them, but then to also help dig them up and get rid of them. This is how much they're hated.
It's a flashpoint. Yeah, it's absolutely a flashpoint. The transport industry want these things gone. There's plenty of people in the transport industry. We live in a town that we all pretty much know each other, and we'll all just pitch together. We'll turn it into a community weekend. We'll shut the road. We'll have barbecues, tea and scones. We'll make this a fantastic event to celebrate.
All right, Max. Well, I'll watch with great interest to see what happens with the Tim Tams.
I'll give you first dibs.
That is Max Bruff, New Plymouth District Councillor. Good on you, Max. That was awesome. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.